rotate the minutes taking. So,
I'll do it.
you
You have somebody else?
While I was, I was gonna ask who wants to do it, and I had a little, so I was hoping I might do it. If you want to do it today, she'll do it next time.
Yeah, I already started.
Oh,
Okay,
perfect.
so let's Naima do it for now, and then so
I'll do it for March.
you'll do it for March, and then it can. All right. So why don't you, if you allow me to share my screen, Khaled, if you allow me to share my screen, let's call this meeting to order at 7:09. Okay, and then let me put in the let's put the proposed agenda. Let me share this. Is that it? All right, everybody can see the agenda?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
all right, so actually we already covered part 1 and 2.
Okay.
What I wanted to do
Okay.
next step is the review of the approval of the last month's minute. I could try to pull them up also. All right. This is, I want, everybody should have gotten a copy of it. I
Yes.
think there's a few information missing in there when I reviewed them. I tried to put as much as I can remember. So far, the list of the, I think in the guests, we're missing somebody. We had that lady, what, Julie Mang?
Are you sharing your
Oh.
screen? Are you sharing the notes on your screen?
Yes, I
No,
am.
no,
No,
Nicholas, you only have the
agenda.
agenda.
Yeah,
Switch-
I only
you need
have
to
the
switch.
agenda. Okay,
Yes.
let
Switch to the, switch to
let
the
me
month.
do that. Let me share again. I want to share my screen. I was only sharing. Okay. How about
You're
now?
right. We had the
There's
woman,
a few of the people that was present that missing there.
Jen, what was her name? Jen Chen?
I think it was
Yes.
it
Yes.
Jen Chen
From Brooklyn fam.
from
Is-
Brooklyn fam.
or is it Jen, G-E-N?
Jen.
Jen,
J
two
N.
N's.
Jen. And last name was C-H-E-N?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
And you said she was from Brooklyn, Sam?
Family.
Oh,
Brooklyn
Brooklyn family.
family.
Okay, very good.
I think it's just fam, from what because I've looked at her Instagram.
Just
Yeah,
like that?
just like
Just
that.
like that. Brooklyn fam, not family. Okay,
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Anything else on the list of the guests that was there?
Her name is spelled with two N's.
Yeah, I have J-E-N-N.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I ran into at a meeting of the Assemblyman Cunningham, the art tax force. And Courtney is absent today. She sent us an email. She's out of town. So you could put that in the notes as one of our absent member. Okay.
Okay.
So what you see, is there any changes beside that list? Because this was more or less the Wildlife Conservation Society from Mali did that presentation. And then we had the Prospect Park Alliance in their presentation.
Mm.
Then we have public commentary. I don't know if anybody remember. I don't remember what the commentary were, but we could always go and check it on the video. At least we know they were there. Okay, and then this is what we agreed on. Okay, and are there any changes? And did we get more people in here? So then we could make a motion to approve the minutes. We have 5 people here, right?
think so.
I'm looking at the screen. I'm not looking at the people.
Okay, let me see. I could always.
1,
Yes.
2,
We have
3,
5, right? So we have a
4.
quorum.
but 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, it's
we only have
everybody
4.
except Khalid and Marley. So everybody is part of the.
1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know how
It
you guys
includes you,
account.
Mr. Amino?
Which one?
It includes yourself?
Yes, it does.
All right,
Yeah,
that's fine.
he's a, okay, then that's
Okay,
5. Okay, cool.
That's fine. So we're good to go. So.
Okay, so we have to make a
Well, and
motion
that-
to,
Yes,
someone
so
has-
we
needs to
put
make
in
a
note,
motion
we
to
have a
pass the-
quorum. Now, let's make a motion to approve the minutes unless there are any correction, addition, or anything like that. If there are none, so somebody can make the motion, get it
well,
seconded.
the motion, I make a motion that we correct the minutes to include Jen, last name we don't know, from Brooklyn Fam. She appeared
Jen.
at this,
I think last name is Chan. I think I. put
Chan, I
that in-
think it may be Chan.
I did
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
If you notice, I made this on, I made the changes right there and there.
Wait a minute, where, I don't see it. I'll take your
Where it
word
says,
for it.
where it says guest.
Oh, guess,
yes,
okay,
So add it at the end there.
okay, cool.
Okay. Any other changes?
And she made a presentation as well.
Yes, she did. I
Okay,
don't
then-
remember, she talked about a whole set of communities.
I know, but I'm
activities.
just saying that you need to make you have item
What?
4, and then you need to make an item. You need to
So-
add an item that she made a presentation.
So we can go here, so that's for 9, woman number 9,
Yeah,
presentation,
from Brooklyn Fam.
yeah, presentation from Booklet Fam. If we want the specifics, since this was recorded and it's on YouTube, we could always get the specifics.
It was painful to watch the first time. Let's keep going.
Presentation. I'm a bad typist, so bear with me.
You're doing fine. We're doing fine.
I feel typing in high school, so.
Now you know why you needed it.
That's the only class I failed in high school, typing.
Oh, my goodness.
We
And
can't be
then-
perfect at everything.
And then
Okay.
by the time I
Okay.
started to teach, everybody has to take keyboarding.
There you
Okay.
go. Okay, okay, now that the minutes have been amended, I will make a motion that we accept the amended minutes. Do we have a second?
I second it.
Okay,
And what's that?
I second
now-
it.
What's your, oh,
Is-
yes, Mr. Waters.
Walters seconds it.
okay, so it's seconded. Okay, Nicholas, you need to take a vote.
All right, can I go for unanimous consent? Or all in
Yeah.
favor, voice vote?
I'm in favor. Yeah,
Yes.
All in favor, say hi.
Hi.
Aye.
Hi.
Okay, the ayes
all
have it.
opposed? All
Any
opposed, you have to do it.
opposed? Yeah, I'm gonna get to the opposed. Anybody opposed, please state your name. Seeing none,
Okay.
any extension? Let the minute reflect that the minutes has been approved by unanimous consent. Okay? So let's get back to the agenda. So I'm gonna save this. And I'll forward it to the okay. We cover 1, 2, we approve last minutes. Public commentary. Are there any public commentary?
I have 2 points of interest.
Mhm.
Can I get to share my screen? I have 2 pictures I want to show.
Okay, so can you do that, Khaled, please?
Are these swimsuit editions? You never
Brenda,
know.
I'm sorry. Brenda, I'm sorry. That's another meeting.
Okay, okay.
Am I
I'm
up?
gonna stop sharing, so we both cannot share at the same time. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Share screen. Let's see if I can do this. Share, okay. Jeez Louise, let's see. If I lose you guys, I'm doing my best. Okay. I don't, hold on.
Oh my goodness, you don't have them up and ready?
I had them up and ready if I knew how to get them.
Yeah, I know.
If I knew how to get them, I would.
Did you go
You
to,
gotta do it at every meeting so you practice.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Brenda. Okay,
okay.
Oh, that's your screen.
okay.
You see, I had
I
a check.
hit-
There were swimsuits.
Yes.
I got swimsuits. I got me in swimsuits. Okay. Okay, can you see this picture?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
Mhm.
The plaza over that they're working on still.
Yeah.
okay,
That's also part of my agenda. It's something, I'm gonna bring something about.
okay,
that.
these two pictures. I just, because we're Parks and Recreation,
Mhm.
members of my community have sent these to me and they said, make sure, who do we need to make sure, who do we need to contact to make sure that there's flowers in here, something's in here? Because this is,
Well,
the fact that it's empty is really making people stressed.
Okay, well,
Okay,
actually,
so-
There are
one point I'm gonna bring in my agenda will address that situation.
Okay, so that's, okay, so now I can stop sharing. God only knows, I'll stop sharing. Okay,
Okay.
you're back. Okay,
All right.
now, that's item number one. And now my secondary item has to do with, my public comment has to do with the renovation of the Vale.
Mhm.
It has also come to my attention, from members in my community that we may be told not exactly the truth from the Prospect Park Alliance. Because if you look at the Vale, I don't have this picture up for ready, but they have a building that's there's a bathroom and then there's a rise. You can walk over the
Right.
on top of the bathroom and then there will be a roof.
Mhm.
If you turn that around, that could be a stage and then that could be an audience. So that everybody who thinks that they're not making it into a party space, a public space,
A performance space, you could say,
a
right?
performance space,
Mhm.
we may be, everybody who was an architect who looked at it said, oh, yeah. They didn't tell you it was a theater, a present stage place, but it could be. So I just was like, I just want to make it clear that people who've been looking at this think something is quite different.
Okay,
That's my
that's your commentary.
commentary.
All right, let's duly record your commentary. Molly, you said you wanted to say something? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, about the Vale?
No, I thought you
Yeah.
raised your hands to do a commentary about anything or anything you want to talk about.
Oh, so sorry. I didn't mean, did I raise my hand?
Oh, no, I thought you did. Oh, okay, all
I've
right.
been scratching my.
Ah, that's
Look
right,
at that, I've
because
been like this.
Fixing your eyeglasses.
both Julia didn't
My
use the raise
glasses, I
hand.
put like,
Yeah, okay, I understand that for your raise your hand. Anybody else with
I'm
any
sorry,
other comment?
I
Public
did see the
commentary?
Vale though this week.
You did, okay. All right, so let me go back to the agenda to keep us going. So, let's see. Now, number 5, 2 of our assigned board members has been, well, first, I think there were one proceeding are going there to have them removed because they have not attended for a long time. So if you look at your minutes, these are a couple of people that have been absent on a regular basis. So I just wanted to make the announcement. that the process have started for the removal of those 2 members. Hopefully we'll get new board members assigned to this. So I'm using this at the same point to tell people, please, you can apply to become a board member. The whole process will shut down on February 14. So you could go to the website of the Brooklyn Board President website, the CB9 website. You could click on the link and put in your application to become a board member. So you could move from resident members to board members. So so there's quite some vacancies. I think there's a few vacancies at the CB9 that needs to be filled up. So basically, if you go and do that, they will ask you to put something to identify whether you live in the district or not, or work in the district. You don't necessarily have to live in the district to become part of the community board now. If let's say you work in the district and you have interest in the district, you could become a board member. So I'm just opening this for discussion. I don't know if anybody wants to chime in and do anything about that and say a few words about this.
Mike,
Mhm.
can I be recognized?
Yes, you're good. You're the only person who wants to talk. Yes, go ahead.
All I want to say about it is if we run the meetings in an orderly fashion and we get people in and out and that we're orderly, maybe we will keep people
Mhm,
on the committee. Because if the meetings are boring,
mhm,
they're long,
mhm,
and they don't make any sense,
mhm.
I'm not going to stay. So how can I expect anybody else to stay?
Well,
So let's just keep in mind that we need to keep it moving and get people out of here so that we're not here all night. Thank you.
well, I try to keep my minutes within the time because I hate long meetings. So as much as possible, but usually this meeting is about 90 minutes. We try to get as much everything done within the 90 minutes. Okay. Are there any other comments?
I have a question, Nick. Where
Sure.
can we find the job description on what it means to be a board member and what the requirements are?
I don't think there's a job description. All
There
you
is
need
an application.
just go out and fill out an application. And all
It's
they
on
ask
the-
in the
it's on the-
application, are you interested to have your community? It's on the it should be.
It's on the website. It's on the website.
It's on the website. It is also on the Friday blast that the community board office sent out.
Oh, that's
You just
right.
Click
It's
on
on
the
the-
link. Click on the link. And the only thing they're gonna ask you after you fill in your name, your address, or anything, is some kind of a proof of address or where you work or where you live. That's basically it. So you
And
have to
a
find it.
resume.
And
And a
resume,
resume.
and then that's one way to do it. And sometimes you could just become a member by the recommendation of the city council person.
If you want to find more information on it, last week, there was something done. It was a Zoom about what it meant to, what's the community board and what it does, et cetera, et cetera. So on YouTube, it was recorded. So it's on YouTube and it's got charts and everything there, Naima. So you can just go on YouTube and look for CB9 Open House. And it was learn about your community board. And it was done by Dante and Fred. They presented.
Okay, that's really helpful, Brenda. Fred and Dante, do you know their last names or no?
Dante,
Baptiste.
the what
It's
is his-
Dante Arwine
Arwine.
and Fred Baptiste, which is the chair of the community
their
board
names.
and the district manager.
You don't need their names. Just put CB9 Open House and it'll pop up. It was 7 days ago.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. Yeah, because I just wanted to know more information about what it means,
involved.
yeah, what the requirements are, not eligibility, but once you become a member, what will the expectations be?
Well, I could talk a little bit about the expectation. The expectation would be is to attend committee meetings primarily. That's the main expectation. The other expectation is to attend some of the general board meeting. These are the basically, it's usually they try to take at least 2 nights out of your month. Okay, so because most of the work is done in the committee, this is what we're doing here. And then when you become a board member, you have to be present at the general board meeting to vote on item brought in by the executive committee that was sent in to from the committees to the executive committee. So that's basically the expectation for you to be there.
Okay.
Any other question? So we could move on to Parks and Cultural Institution Liaison Report.
I could go. I have can I go?
Yes, you can go for brief. Yeah, go ahead.
I did a Brooklyn Academy of Music. They are coming to make a presentation in March. They are having a children's film festival that is ongoing now. They put a flyer in the CB Board 9 blast. So that's it.
Anything from the Botanical Garden?
The Botanic Garden is still looking for people to do a they've gotten money for a tree count. I thought that maybe they would have talked to somebody else, but that's what's going on with them. I mean, what they would like to have from us is people, they're looking for people to be tree counters,
Okay.
but they don't have anything formal yet, so it's
So
just,
it's in the planning discussion phase, I guess.
yeah, it's still in the discussion phase.
All right, Brenda, you ready for us?
Yeah, well, I followed up with the Wildlife Conservation Society for this month. And yeah, we'll talk about the Brooklyn Botanic Garden again, but for next month, we can follow up with Brooklyn Botanic Gardens, Ethan. But I followed up with Wildlife Conservation Society. So took some time to meet with Bill and Marley today, in fact, and then sent out some emails because like they spoke about last week, they need input from the community to find out what kind of programs the community wants. Marley can confirm, but there was some bilingual program that they have going on, but no one is attending. So what's the point of them, you know, coming up with programs and then no one in the community is interested in those programs? So really what they need is input from the community. And Marley and Bill are trying to work on either getting focus groups together or talking with community members. And I thought this is a great opportunity. And I suggested to them that they reach out to, which is going to be difficult because everything is a bureaucracy, reach out to the council people and Brian Cunningham's office. What's the other guy's name?
Zelno Myrie?
Zelno. I could not remember his name to save my life today, but
Yeah.
reach out to his office and, you know, try to get people in that way. But I also suggested, from my understanding, like the community garden that, you know, I'm a part of, Naima knows, there's 600 people on the email list. So among those 600 people, some of them have children, your family members, some of them are at home and able to participate. So I suggested, I sent an email to them to connect, you know, Wildlife Conservation Society with them. And perhaps we can continue connecting even further so that it can be a more welcoming and diverse place, equitable. They also have job opportunities there right now. Marley, I think they said it's for security people right now. So
We have various opportunities that come up all the time. I've so enjoyed our meeting, by the way. That's why I was so excited to see you. what we were discussing was that Denise, the director of Prospect Park Zoo, really wants to hire from the community. So it's kind of like almost, so she'll send out things, but they're maybe not getting to the right people. So this is a great connection. I mean, they desperately need security, which was what she had sent, and then Dante put in the e-blast. But there's always jobs, and we really are committed to hiring from the community. Like Ms. Pickens said, it's almost like, we want to hear from you guys and how to make things more relevant. Lastly, I just wanted to mention, a camp that all the cultural institutions are doing together. That there's actually, they're looking to fill spaces that would be like scholarship spaces. And it's called BCAP. I just forwarded it to Dante. But it's essentially a collaboration with like the library and the zoo, and I believe the botanical gardens as well. And if any of you know any young people that would like to be involved, they're looking to fill the spaces that would be free. And
What's the age range?
7 to 10
Seven.
year olds, 7-year-olds to 10-year-olds.
Okay.
yeah.
Are
Okay.
you looking for camp counselors as well?
Yeah, so we always are looking for, not always, but when they're hiring, so we just had Jive, which is our virtual career internship fair.
Mhm.
And because WCS kind of has a very, there's something called a career lattice. So they're very interested in only paid internships, committed to that. But then also once you become an intern or a counselor, to keeping you in what we call the lattice. So, if you would like to, be employed. So
Alright.
things like that. I could share my screen if you want to see the flyers from BCAP. That was just a total random thing that Bill had brought up also. But if you ever go to WCS's website, that's where they're hiring for camp counselors now. So if you know anyone,
Okay.
Okay.
and feel free to shoot me an email. I could put my
Well,
again here.
But okay, if I may interrupt a little bit, I attended the youth committee meeting this week. They're going to have a job fair, and I think a good connection for what you're talking about is to intersect and then to connect with the youth committee chair, which is Sol Cleary. But they did mostly with you from high school on. It was quite a great meeting with the superintendent. We have a couple of the high school that are looking to place children, students, into some of those jobs within the community. Because we had about a couple of high school, one from the Erasmus campus, and another one from the Wingate campus, where they are doing a lot of agricultural work. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be contacting them regarding beekeeping. If we can bring any beekeeping into the community. There's one teacher who's more interested, and I think this is something we want to see if we could put. I'm thinking. So I got to talk to the community garden people, something they want to look into. And hopefully there's so those connections can be made. What I like to suggest is we would like to recommend that you do a presentation at the next general board meeting, or even if you could speak to Dante, maybe you could have a town hall about what's happening at WCS or something like that. These are a couple of ideas I have. So we got to talk some more, and I'm going to give you some of those connections. Some of the connections are connected to what this committee is doing. So I have 2 high schools that are waiting for my contact because we spoke. I was at the meeting. I said, please come by the school, please call us. We're very much interested in placing our students into some of those jobs within the community. So things like in the botanical garden and WCS and so on and so forth. That's high school level. But you said the Children Film Festival is that you said for children 7 to 10?
No, that's camp.
Yeah,
The camp is for children from 7 to 10.
Right.
Oh, because I understand that. Then another person that used to be very active in this community, but is still a board member, Ariel Spielblom, who used to head the education committee. He's been running a camp in this community for, I think, over 20 years. This is somebody probably you may want to contact with because he runs a summer camp. I think that's his main business. That's not only in Brooklyn, but it's also in Manhattan. It's all over the place. But he's also a member of the community board. And I think that's a good idea if you could come and make a presentation. So I would make a recommendation to the executive committee at our next meeting that you be part of the to present at the community board for the general board. And then you and I will work out some of the connection I just got for this week regarding access to some of the high school. And I had sent, let's see, documents to Brenda, Julia, and what's the third person? Are we missing Miss
Briggs.
Briggs.
Briggs today about the project we're trying to put together that involved the three high school and the school for the deaf that are near to see, so we could integrate a program that would involve the community garden. So I don't know how far Brenda has come along with that because we're trying to see if we get stuff done by the end of February. I know she's a busy woman, so I'm not putting too much pressure on her.
Can I respond? I'm
Sure.
on that subcommittee. Nicholas, we're waiting for you to answer us back. We sent you an email twice. We're
You-
looking for what exactly you
Oh,
want a focus from us. She
But
answered, she
I
asked.
thought I
No.
answered that email. You know, you guys never.
No, we read the email and that was not an adequate answer for
Okay,
us.
well,
So we could talk offline
Follow-up.
on
I
what,
think we should have a conversation offline to further develop that. I think that's the
Yes.
best way to do it. Yes. Mhm.
okay.
I think we'll get more done instead of email back and forth, and then we
Right,
could
right.
finalize it after we talk, and then we'll put it in writing, so that way it's permanent, so we don't lose whatever we had discussed. So feel
Thank
free
you.
to let me know whenever you guys are ready to meet.
Okay, we have to check in with the third party as well, Ms.
Correct.
Briggs.
Correct, okay?
Okay.
So now let's move in terms of institution. Naima, what do we have for us?
So I've been in touch with the Brooklyn Museum and they're still working to try to figure out who the best contact is. So there are a couple of new people who are in charge of programs and community engagement. And so I've been like kind of passed around an email to a couple of people, but they are interested in partnering with us and collaborating with us. And in one of my emails to them, I recommended that we find a presenter at Brooklyn Museum to come and, share some updates in our committee meeting. And I was recommending March, but since I know earlier someone else said that they were planning to have a March.
Bams, they could come at the
Oh,
same,
no, no.
we
No,
could have
have
two
enough
people.
time. We could
We've had
accommodate.
two people.
We have two people. We could do that. Usually we have more than one person presenting.
Okay, good. All right. So I'll still try to, get somebody here for March. And I told them that we're just looking for like a 15-minute presentation on the different programs that are happening at the museum and how we can collaborate, with the community in those programs and create awareness for what they're doing. So, right now I'm just kind of getting, passed around a little bit, but I do feel like I'm making some progress and I'm making some connections and that people at the Brooklyn Museum really do want to be involved with us. I am getting that sense.
Okay, thank you for your report. Is there anybody
Naima,
else?
can I just can I just add something? Remind them that when they do granting, that they include Crown Heights as part of places that they say that they cover.
Okay,
And once I start telling people that, they suddenly can stand up and figure out, because you just say, we know that you use our name, Crown Heights, for funding
Or PLG.
and PLG, and you say that you cover this community, and yet you have not been here in the 5 years that I've been here. And then remind them that you know where their funding sources are. And what I said to Brooklyn Botanic Garden, to Brooklyn Academy of Music, I said, I have a list of your funding agencies. And if your funding agencies have not been giving you enough money so that you could find time to come to the Brooklyn community at the community board, I will write to your community. I will write to your agency and tell them that they should be giving you more money, because that you don't have enough money to come to the community board for community board night. I got a telephone call in a moment, and next thing I know, the flyer was there immediately. Okay, they need to stop playing with you, and you're a smart woman, and that they're nice. They will say, nice, I want to be there, and yet they don't show up.
well,
Those days are over.
okay, so I understand what you're saying, and I don't want to, like threaten them just yet, because I feel like they are being very responsive and they want to help. And what they said to me very early on in my conversations with them is that things tend to move a little bit slow at the Brooklyn Museum. So keeping that in mind and knowing that there are, some new people in position, I do want to try to give them a little bit of grace. And I know at the last meeting, Marley, you mentioned that you have some connections at the Brooklyn Museum too, but I just want to let you know that who I've been working with so far is Christina Marinelli, and she is also recommending that I speak with Laval Bryant and also Lindsay Harris. So these are all the contacts that I have right now through email for Brooklyn Museum. But Marley, if you have any additional connections of people who you think I should reach out to, who may be able to help us make some progress, then let me know.
Unfortunately, we were talking about it in our in-person meeting today. I've spoken to Laval, that's who I spoke to. But when I emailed, and I only was able to, because my, boss's boss was kind of, not a threat, but, like a looped in conversation. So when I emailed, when I emailed again, to try to have a follow-up, conversation with them, I haven't heard much back.
Maybe what I need to do is show up there and just go up to the front and ask for these people. And then, because sometimes you can make more progress in face-to-face conversations, like in email, sometimes things just kind of get set to the side. So I am going to be very diligent with this.
Including superiors in the email, they have a tendency to work more quickly.
Yeah, I would say that too. I would say a CC, obviously you guys don't CC, but my mom doesn't know any of this terminology. That's why I always have to explain it. But that works wonders.
Well, yeah, I know the director of education is Lindsay Harris. So, in all my communication going forward, I can CC Lindsay Harris, but they haven't really been responsive yet. The only person who's been responsive with me so far is Christina Marinelli.
Okay, I think you're doing an excellent job, and the end run of this is what the end game that we want is, we want the Brooklyn Museum to show up at our fair. Our fair is not until June.
John, right.
When?
Yes, it
Don't-
is until June. I think it's already set for
It's-
that first weekend.
Yeah,
in June.
we have a date. So God forbid we don't hear from them before. Let's try, it. Your goal date, your drop dead date is May. Okay, so if you have to just keep at it, I know we're stressing you and I don't mean to stress you more than, I guess my frustration is coming out. I've been on this committee for 5 years and quite frankly, the last 2 years, we actually made some headway. We actually did. 3 years, not so much.
Mhm.
So I have I have some institutional history with
Okay.
this committee.
Mhm.
So we're moving forward and we're practicing moving forward, and you are part of the process of moving forward. So
Yes, I'm
I
definitely.
want you to feel appreciated.
Thank you. I do
Thank
feel appreciated, and I feel like I'm
Okay.
making some progress. It's not a lot, but so far I've made some. Now, you mentioned about this fair. Where can I get more information on the fair so I can share with them?
Let me answer that. Most of that information will be coming at the general board meeting
Okay,
because the youth committee is already started to work on it. This is an idea that was launched last year and it was quite a great experience. So I know one thing for a fact, I made a motion to choose the date at the last general board executive meeting, which was approved. So
mhm.
that we already voted on, but the specifics are not being worked out. But it's mostly going to be the youth committee. I mean, actually what it is a job fair, a health fair, all kind of the thing mixed into one in one area. And also you have all the agencies, as many agencies from the city representative do show up, hospitals and everything
Resource
else.
fair,
Right?
resource fair.
Well, it's a resource fair, actually, that's what we call it. And then it have.
And
all
this is
these
the
companies.
second annual one.
This is the
So
second
those-
annual.
Those are
So,
the things that you can include in the email. This is the second annual resource fair, and it's taking place across the street
Straight
from
from them.
here. So the
Yeah.
Across the street from where?
museum,
From the museum at Ronald McNair
it's
Park.
right on Clausen Avenue, Ronald McNair Park. That's where it took place, right?
Yep,
Has the place been set? That's still,
it's been said already.
okay,
So
so
it's gonna be back at Ronald McNair. The only thing is that that would coincide with their first Saturday's activities, but I don't think the two,
First
Uh,
Saturdays are
I'm
gone.
having them.
they're gone, they don't have them anymore? Because that is.
COVID.
Disappointing. Why not?
They're on pause.
COVID.
COVID.
They
but-
started back during COVID because I went to some during COVID.
Well, they are what do you
You
call
can
it?
find
They're a
out.
victim of their own success.
Mhm.
They were a victim of their own success. They were crowded,
Yes.
and it wasn't safe for
But
people to bring
maybe
their
they'll be
children.
having it again, but if you put those dates in, the information that will help them to recognize it's timeliness that matters here. And
Yeah,
also, beyond that, like you said, sometimes going in, but you can find out from them, when is the best time for me to meet you?
yeah.
I'm available on this date and this date, and I'd like to come in. Who can I meet with?
Well, I did offer that in my last email, and of course, they didn't respond to that.
Okay, so
But
now-
I'll stay on them. I understand that there's some history and it's a little bit slow and that.
and also those people that you're speaking with, they may not actually be responsible for the community engagement, so they don't want to, commit themselves to work that is not their real responsibility. Need to find who it is that is the community engagement person, community liaison, whatever they're calling themselves this day. But I'm sure that they should have someone.
And I keep trying to position this as, this is for them, not really. I mean, it's more for them to help get the word out about their programs and.
They don't care. They don't care. Like, I don't mean to be rude, but they don't care. They have white faces. They bring buses in of white people coming in. Let's just call it what it is. They don't really need to see us in there, period. Put a point on that. Put a point on that. Be really clear on what's going on. Because the museum has white faces and they don't necessarily. And so someone has a job to engage with the community, and that they have not engaged with the community and gotten away with it. You're seeing exactly how they want to engage with you.
Well, does anyone know who the actual community engagement manager is?
I was just Googling that. I know they have like a large staff of people like in charge of like those types of things. And like I said, I don't want to say anything bad about Brooklyn Museum, but perhaps something else that has worked with, I don't know who would be the right CC, like I said, a CC with someone who they would
Higher up.
recognize, maybe Dante district manager to be like, we see you, we know, like this other, like we're looping in, or you could even be like, I'm looping in like the chair of this board, or like, the chair of community board 9, even if he doesn't have to say anything, or whoever it is doesn't have to say anything, just like a loop in also sometimes.
Okay, so I'll try several tactics and
Yeah, I'd say looping in this person.
Put the CC to Alicia Boyd. Just use the name Alicia Boyd. CC.
okay.
That will, Alicia Boyd, everyone answers her. She's a
Okay,
community board member. She's a
Right.
community member. She's the
Okay.
person, she's Alicia, she's Boyd versus Cumbo. And that's the case that kept the buildings from towering on the Botanic Garden.
okay, that's great to know. So I'll try all of these things, and then Julia, if all else fails, then I'll let them know we know where their funding comes from.
Their funding comes
Yeah.
from the city of New York, Department
City
of
of New York.
Cultural
I mean,
Affairs.
it's our tax dollars.
That's my money.
It's our time, right, it's your money.
That's your
It's-
money and my money that, keeps the building standing there. So,
And that you don't see Brooklyn Botanic, you don't see Brooklyn Museum posters anywhere up and down, Empire, Washington, whatever. But there are Brooklyn Museum posters in Prospect Heights, in Brooklyn, in Brooklyn Heights.
That's
Mhm.
interesting.
So don't think that they don't have it. They
Yeah.
walk right around you,
Mhm.
you, me,
Mhm.
everyone.
Well,
Okay, so-
I'll
They
let
just
them
got
know.
$1 million from Senator Kevin Parker.
Well,
There you
let them
go.
know I'm a member and
CC Kevin
Right.
Parker. CC Kevin Parker.
okay.
CC Reynoso, they get money from
Bo-
Brooklyn Borough
bo- bo-
President.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's who we're under as well. So,
Yeah, and
that's-
right, and Marley's right. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to ask them to do anything. Just CC Kevin Parker. Okay, and
Okay. All right. In the interest of time, I want to try to move the agenda. So me and Maima will talk further about that and see how we move along with this particular area.
Okay.
Okay.
And thank you guys for all the input and suggestions. It's super helpful.
well,
All right. Last activities is regarding, I think Dave and I have been working on the park assessment. I know we have discussed this before, the neighborhood parks assessment. I'm gonna share my screen. My screen is being shared already, so I'm gonna go to another.
take this one down. Just take this one down.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to another document here. You will see it. All right. What you are seeing here is the list of playground and community gardens within CB9. Okay. And what I have listed in the second column is the councilmanic district, the assembly district, and the senate district that covers that. And the various council member and their phone number, and the state assembly members and their phone number. The goal is to do what we sometimes we used to call a community walk. What we want to establish is to have site visit for each of these areas. So we want to sit and plan. Let's say for starting, I'm suggesting for the second week of March. So we can decide how many of them we're going to visit and when we're going to visit. And we're going to try to reach out to all these people, let them know we want to do that. In addition to this, we're going to do it along with Alexandra Mormon, which is the Park and Recreation Manager for District 8 and 9. So we could go there and do what we call a park assessment. We're going to try to reach out to her to develop a park assessment tool. What is the condition of the particular park, Claiborne, of Community Garden, and what are their needs? We don't necessarily have to have the elected, but at least somebody from their office to come and do
Rita
site
Joseph-
visit. Mhm.
Okay, please finish and then I'll.
I know
didn't
I
mean to
was
jump.
at the town hall with Joseph. She already assigned some money for Wingate Park.
She has assigned money. She
She
has
already
already
have
done it.
assigned money for Wingate Park. She said, we want to talk. to
And
them
Maple
about-
Street Park.
I know Maple
And-
Street is working on that too, because I think
No,
finally
she has a
got to
check.
court.
No, I talked to her. She has a check for Maple Street. She has this
Really?
check for Maple Street.
Wow,
too.
well, you should get it to Brenda as quickly as
What's the
possible.
number on the check?
Okay, Brenda, I was thinking that she was gonna tell you by this time, so I didn't wanna to burst your bubble, but it is an appropriate place to say it. Rita Joseph, I, with another group, we
And the
met,
$300,000 for the water project?
yes.
Okay, but
She
these are,
wants, she
remember,
wants,
we're dealing with the city. So allocating and receiving are
she
not
has
the
a
same.
check. She has a check. She doesn't have a voucher. She has a check.
Okay.
And so she's waiting for, she said, and she called you by name, Brenda, because you know, we know her. She
Yes.
said, Brenda, she wants to have Brenda in a photo. So when she gives Brenda the check about Maple Street, because she is attached to a willow tree that is in Maple Street Garden.
Maybe
that
she can get the
she-
parks department to come and trim that willow tree too.
Well, you could
Right.
ask her, but I didn't want to say it until I could say it in a public space, and I know she has the check. It's not a voucher. It's not a promise. She's waiting to do a ceremony. So,
Well,
yes,
let's pick a date, and that will be the date will be at the Maple Street Community Garden to do the assessment and the check.
There you go.
presentation. So I'm looking for that.
okay, Maple Street Garden, I can go. Okay, so,
Park
but
is
other than
one
that,
thing, the garden is separate. You're talking about parks. Park.
oh,
Oh,
sorry,
no,
you're right.
here,
Garden on the right. So you can come and then we'll let you come into the garden.
All right.
Yeah.
But that's up to Rita. Rita has my phone number.
So then, well,
Worked together
I
for
was
many
trying to be
years.
proactive and reach out to her. And say, hey, we have this date, so you could kill two birds with one stone. So we see if that date will work for her on her calendar.
I stay in my lane.
Well, I'll do it if needed. So, I
Okay,
don't
well,
mind.
We
okay,
don't even
Nicholas,
have
Nicholas, you are,
Maple Street Park listed as a park. Yeah.
it's a
He
community,
doesn't
no,
even
she,
know we exist.
No, I
it's a
Maple
community
Street
garden.
Community garden. You see that with the green background?
yeah, I see
can't
it on your list.
but
Oh, okay, but Nicholas, this is my point.
Mhm.
Because I've seen this project before, and you know, people get into cars and they go look at every park,
Mhm.
and then they do it again the next year.
But well, I'm thinking this should be an annual thing,
For what?
just to let the
what?
elected know this is the condition, or also
it's part of the
Yeah.
responsibilities of this committee too. To
let the park department, this is the
Right.
person in charge, this is what we were here last year. Had this thing been completed or done? What needs to be done? I know like the park in my block, they have the problem of mosquitoes because there's a defect where the fountain, where the water sprayer is and the water sits there. It hasn't been fixed for 2 years. So I know Wolf and Henry, they are being renovated, but I just want to make sure that the member of this committee knows all the parks, or so we can report what's going on and keep track of what's going on. I do see the community board like an oversight.
Well, that,
Yeah,
this
this
is one
issue.
of the responsibilities that we have. And
Mhm.
also, one of the things that Dante keeps saying is, you know, see something, say something, basically. You
right.
know, call 311, but then also ring his phone, send him an email so that
Right.
he's aware. Letting the Parks Department know what the issues are in these parks, we can do that. That's, but I can't imagine us spending days and days doing it. I
Well,
think,
Okay,
you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I
And
was,
go 1, 2, 3, 4, here we go, check, 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 check. Is
Right.
there any plumbing issue? Is there any disrepair?
Mhm.
Whatever the issues are that the Parks Department is responsible for, we needed to check off. I don't know if we all need to go or if.
no, I don't think we all need to go, at least a representative, 2, 3, 4 people be
Yes.
there. Yeah, I don't think.
So we need to get a group, whoever we are, that is gonna be the representative group that's gonna go to these parks. And they're, you know, they're not all in the same block.
No, they're not. You cannot do all of them at one time. I
In
myself,
the,
one of those days, I took myself a Saturday, I think I must have spent 4 hours walking the whole, looking at each of these parks. The only place I didn't go that Saturday was Jackie Robinson, and this one I didn't even know it existed. The
Jackie Robinson?
not Jackie Robinson, the first one, Dodger Playground on Sullivan Place. I didn't even know.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
down by,
I
those,
didn't even know it existed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you could see
Quiet Park.
at the tail end of this is the Russell D. Ramsey Memorial Triangle.
The new one.
That's
Yeah, the
what
new one.
Brenda was talking about. So I want
Yeah.
to have a date where we go there with the Parks Department, with the elected. Say, what is it you guys gonna be doing there? Isn't that what you were asking about,
Julia.
Yeah,
Julia?
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Yeah,
planted
exactly.
the trees, but I don't know who's gonna tend the trees and who's gonna keep the trash from around the trees
Well,
too.
that's the reason we have to
Right.
get, this is also
Be-
gonna go to Dante, this particular thing, once we
Right.
put on that list. So,
Right.
so the office will
In
follow up.
On Vanderbilt Avenue, this is what we did on Vanderbilt Avenue. The city doesn't maintain those trees. And so on Vanderbilt Avenue down St. Mark's and Carlton, what we had to do was we had to water the plants ourselves.
Hmm.
And so we got people from the community garden to water the plants. So
If we get the check from Rita, then we'll be able to get water much more easy. We take hoses and go from the garden up to the corner and around the corner to a fire hydrant around the corner
Mhm.
to get water into the garden, to water the plants and
Right.
everything there. So it's no joke.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
if you
so-
go to the Union Street Community Garden, she has no water in there. They've been promising her the water forever.
None of us
And-
have water.
And the MTA is right there. They could have given her the water. So these are the things we want to go and look at. So it doesn't have
Okay,
to be
so
everybody in the committee to come in, but at least we have a representative. What I want to work out, I know David Waters is working on me on this. He does have some park background to help us. So what we are thinking of doing is to call Ms. Mormon to see if they already have an assessment tool. Instead of us
Right.
developing our own, let's see what they have, and then we could
Right.
modify
No.
it to meet our need.
But not only that, in the past, they have a vehicle that they put you in. I mean, unfortunately, the last time I was setting to go, they wanted to go in January. And then
Okay.
there was a snowstorm and I did not continue. But they do have a car. They have a,
Plenty of trucks.
You know,
Yeah.
they
Well,
have,
I-
not, it's not a
Parks
truck, it's
Department.
a, yeah, Parks Department has a, you know, some kind of
They have
vehicle with,
vehicles.
you know, bunch of people. So I'm suggesting that you get in their car
Mhm.
and you know, you get them to do it, and then you take your pictures and then you write down your notes, and then, you know, you get back to them, and, you know, once you get a document, maybe we could put it together as a group,
Mhm.
you know, and then we can say what it is. But in the past, it's just sort of, it's a gap.
Mhm.
First, you know, we'd have to find the date, then we get the car, and then we get in there, and then we get there, and then nothing kind of happens.
Well,
So,
my goal at this.
so there's
point
a
is to-
next step, that I want to make sure happens.
Well, let's do the first step. Let's secure the date. So I may need some volunteer to start calling both the elected. And we'll send that information to Dante at the office. So that way we have it, because maybe on one Saturday for between 10 and 12, we'll do 2 to 3 parks. And the next Saturday, we do 2 or 3 parks until we get everything covered, let's say at least within a 4 weeks period.
So do you think it's too much for like 1 or 2 people? So like we could divide and conquer and just assign 1 or 2 parks to a person, and once we have the assessment tool, we just go on our own and complete the assessment? Is that a possibility?
I
Go ahead, Wendy.
don't think that that's the best way to do it, because your eye and my eye are not the same. You know, so, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'll go and say, oh, this looks good. Come on, let's go to the next part. And someone else will say, no, look at the concrete, look at the tarp or whatever's there. And each of these parts is a little bit unique.
Mhm.
So I think it's gonna take several people, and not 1 or 2, but I would say a group of 3, you know, so you can get a
A
consensus.
minimum of 3,
Two,
yeah. Mhm.
you know, to look and then do it consistently. Because 1 or 2 of us may go and say one thing and someone can come right behind us and say something totally different. We want to make sure there's consistency, you know, in what we're doing. And we've never done it before as a group. You know, those people who are in the group now have not done this before. Hasn't
Okay.
been done since I've come in, and I'm only, what, 3 years or so in, and I'm like, okay, when is this gonna happen?
Well, see, that's the thing. So I think it's difficult for it to happen because right now, the list may look overwhelming, but
Mhm.
maybe if we could, form the different groups of 3 in the committee and then just assign the parks to each of the groups of 3 and then provide us with a deadline to complete the assessment.
We need
Well,
the
I'm
tool,
volunteer
need
to
the
visit every
assessment
park.
tool.
First, we need to get the assessment first. So let's see, what action item should we take to get this done? Who's
Well, does the-
volunteering?
The young lady who is in the Parks Department who came to the meetings before, what
That's
happened?
her. That's her name. That's her.
Sandra, Alexandra, what's that?
Ale-
Can you move the
Alexandra?
paper over? Move your-
Alexis McKenzie, Edwards, Colin.
No, that's
No,
mostly for.
Alexandra Mormon.
Here she is, if you could see that. That's her.
Yes,
Oh,
Alexandra Mormon. She might be the person to just confer with, rather than us creating, you know, dates and things. She's in the Parks Department. We need to confer with her and make sure that these dates, Saturdays, does she work on Saturdays?
The
Do they
date,
work
right?
some- You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need to
I don't
pull
think they
her in.
work on Saturdays. We've done it on Fridays.
Yeah, but we
Well,
need,
well, then, do you suggest that I give her a call and say, this is what we would like to do? How can we get it
Yes.
done? And what data are available? Well, I'll do that first. I probably will.
Why
do that
don't you do that?
tomorrow.
But I'm backing up with the
Oh,
part
oh,
about your
uh,
electeds.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I should talk to Dante and both of us will do that. So let me have a conversation with Dante tomorrow regarding this is what we want to do. I will send her this particular document that we just developed and then, and take it from there. And then,
Okay, so are we voting? Not, I don't think we need to vote, but do we? I just want to know that we have this recorded and what we're going to do, because this was a conversation. I'm not quite sure what we've agreed on. So
no, we
you
have not
wanna
agreed
make
on
a-
anything yet. So far, we just having
Action
discussion.
items.
Action
items.
that's what I'm
Action
trying to get to, Brenda. Go ahead.
What
Next, step.
action items should we do about this one? I know me and Dave don't mind visiting all the parks, so at least you have 2 people. If you could get 2 more people to do it, that'll be fun.
I want to be on the committee too.
Okay. So let's.
And
write-
I literally am not physically able to do that, so.
Okay, go ahead, Dave. Dave, you want to say something?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Mhm.
Oh, okay, okay. Nick and I just got together with this idea to visit these parks. Now, people have come up with some, really good ideas because based on what the policy of the park department is and based on your previous experiences, it came up with some good ideas. Maybe what we can do is the following. Far as visiting the parks, Nicholas and I, could do this here. Is not going to be a major problem because you need consistency. We can't have, several people going there doing observations of the park, coming up with various different ideas, because you have a problem. Then I would think that possibly, we can contact, Dante, and someone else gave a good idea. We can get maybe a vehicle from the Parks Department, share with them the dates that we want to go, and they could take us around to these various parks and see what transpires there. And also, sort of reinventing the wheel, we can find out from the Park Department exactly what evaluative tool that they use. And the persons who are going to go around to the park, we could peruse that document, modify it based on our needs, and deal with the situation. I mean, what has happened in the past is the past. We're looking towards the future. So I think that basically what we can do is, and then again, too many cooks spoil the broth. So I think, like maybe 3 or 4 people at the most would be sufficient to cover this within a set period of time.
All right,
Excellent.
then my proposition is what should be the deadline? And
Well, the deadline-
would we want to leave it to those 3 or 4 people to establish the date?
Well,
And then,
deadline for what?
the deadline, basically, I imagine after you contact, Dante,
Mhm.
and also get a copy of the evaluative tool that they use, that will determine, what the deadline and the time frame will be.
So the action item is to contact Dante. That's the first one.
Yeah,
So-
Dante
so
and
that's
whoever,
one action item, yeah.
right. And then the
Also
other,
to contact Alexandra Mormon.
And
is
contact Alexandra
get
Mormon,
that evaluation tool.
right?
Does it make sense to send them a list of items that they're not going to repair because this is not what the parks repairs?
Right,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
well, we're using the evaluative tool, so we know exactly what they do and do not do.
Yeah.
And don't, do, right?
Okay.
If you have an evaluative tool by the Parks Department, I'm assuming that that's what they do.
Mhm.
Yes,
Go ahead, Brenda.
go ahead. Move on.
So when you
Okay.
got, and then you take that tool and you modify it based on, what you think your community would need. So
No.
if you, excuse me?
No. If they're giving you the tool that says, these are the things that we are responsible for, these are the things that we take care of the repairs for, then
Right.
why would we then say, well, we're gonna change that?
No, I didn't say that we would
Gonna
change.
modify.
No,
that.
I didn't say we would change anything. Basically, what would happen is we would get this tool, and then we as a community, if people had any other complaints about the park, which are unforeseen, we ourselves could use that
You can
as
add
an
that to the
as an
list.
addendum, but it's not necessarily they would honor it, but we at least would use it.
That would be useful for these electeds to have,
There you go.
because if the
There you
parks doesn't necessarily deal with it, the electeds will, because it's still in their communities.
Right,
It's part of their
because-
purview. So those are the things that, so all of this should go to the electeds. So
Yeah, it
nobody
should.
can say, we didn't know.
Right, because some of these items may be capital improvement, and
Right.
that money has to come from the
money,
elected.
Yes.
Okay,
Right,
Yeah.
and you know what? I think that this is the case where you might want to have a town hall. Like, once you have all this information, to make it public, because if I were in a elected's office, get it in the mail, and if nobody ever knew I had it,
okay. Well,
and then
in the
maybe they,
interest of time, I think I wanted to introduce the subject, and we have 2 action items. So
Okay.
between this and the next meeting, we should come find out what the results are. And then we should have a list of the that's established. So that's what we're hoping to do. So let's try to do some of in
Excellent.
between by the time we meet again. Okay?
excellent.
So so
Thank you.
far, we have a few people that are willing to be part of this whole process. And then we'll move it forward. So let the minutes reflect, this is what the discussion have been. And we have decided to action item. I don't think there's a need to vote on them at this time. So let me go back to the agenda, so we could move on this meeting very quickly.
Number 8, letter of,
Number 8, oh, yeah, well, number 8. We need to take the Prospect Park Alliance access for us to vote to give them a letter of support for the Vale Restoration Project. So I want to make a motion that we should give them that letter of support. And I think that's going to be coming from the board. I think Dante will probably be the one, but we have to have the vote on that. I'd like to make a motion that we provide a letter of support to the Prospect Park for the Vale Restoration Project. Are there any second?
I second it.
Okay. All in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye,
State your name. State your
Julia
name.
Bryan opposes. Julia
Opposed?
Bryan opposes.
Any abstention? Seeing none, let's reflect that we have 1 no vote and the rest yes vote. There should be what? 4 vote in favor and 1 vote for. Okay? Therefore, the motion passes. Okay. One of part B was I think that was not rightly placed. Each of these different committee, I think we should, I was thinking we should have a project that is linked for the particular organization going forward. So I know I'm going to meet with Brenda and Ms. Briggs and Julia to work about that project of the Botanical Garden. If you can think of any project for that that would involve your institution, please let us know, along with the necessary any budget if needed, because that's what the board is asking us. So then we could submit it to be part of the what this party committee is going to do. But so far we have a lot of work to do. So between the
Do
park.
we need any money for the fair? I mean, like.
Oh, we're
from this
gonna need
committee?
money for the fair, absolutely, gonna be money for the fair. There's many things that, well, they're gonna allocate some money from their budget. And also they have just revived point of CB9 nonprofit. which could also serve as what's the word? Fiduciary for nonprofit organization, to also try to raise some money. So there's gonna be more discussion about money, because I think we want to make that fair a little bigger than it is. One of the things I'm pushing for the fair is to recognize people in the community that are either that been doing quite a lot of work in the community, or people that grew up in the community that have been very successful worldwide. And I think we should have a recognition ceremony where we'll get proclamation from the mayor on down. So I think those discussions are about to start, and that's what we're going to see. Okay? Any other, think about projects. If they require money, please make sure that you include that part of those projects. Any old business? Any new business? I have a new business. I just want to see what you guys think. Since Ms. Tavlin is very interested in this work we're doing. I don't know if she lives in the community, but she works in the community. There's a possibility if she would like to become a community resident member. I'm asking, is that something you'd be interested in doing?
A community, to move to
You could
live.
be on this committee.
Correct,
be on this
become
committee.
member of this committee. As somebody that works, I don't know if there's any conflict of interest because you work for an institution, but that offer is being extended. Based on the CB9 bylaws, I can appoint. Just
Oh
me.
my goodness, thank you. I'll have to ask my supervisor just to make sure there's no like
Conflict.
conflict or
Conflicts, please,
anything,
please.
but I mean, personally, I would love to, and I know also Bill, but Bill says hello, by the way.
Okay,
I'll ask my supervisor tomorrow. Thank you so much.
yes.
I'm really,
We don't meet in July and August. So we're almost done. for the year.
We're almost done, yes.
I plan on attending all of them either way, and I would love to be.
Well, then it's good that you could participate in members' vote. What are we doing?
Oh, wow. I will definitely put that in my agenda for my check-in tomorrow. Thank you. And also, I found out that it is Laval who is the community engagement person.
Okay,
Just PS. I was
Thank-
researching that.
thank
Great.
you. So I understand Laval is new. That's what Christina has told me. So she's saying that Laval may need a little bit of time to get settled into her role. I don't know if she's new to the museum or just new into her role, but I'm hearing that she needs a little bit of time to get settled.
We'll invite her to the meeting.
Let's invite
when
her to
is
the
it?
meeting. Yes,
What
let's
it's
invite-
about.
Let March. Yeah.
That might help
So,
her to settle in.
so wait, I was asking for them to come and present in March. Is that too much? Should I just say, hey, just come to the meeting? You don't have to present anything, but just come to the meeting. What do you think?
Ask her to
Mm.
present. And if she's not able to present, then she can just come and attend the meeting so she can get a sense of what we're doing, what we're talking about. She can say no. She can say, I won't be able to present in March, but the offer can be on the table for March. And then if she's unable to do it in March, we can give her an alternate date.
Mhm.
All right, I'll get on that, Brenda.
Okay, I want to thank everybody because the motion to adjourn is in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, any second?
Second.
Thank you. Well, I like to thank you guys for a very productive meeting. So we're going to try to do the work in between. So feel free, let's have some of the conversation in between. So for next month meeting. Okay,
Okay.
so thank you very much.
Excellent work, everybody.
Excellent work, excellent.
Okay, and I'll take minutes next month.
Okay, you're next month. So please
Okay.
note,
Okay,
meeting is adjourned at 8:28 p.m.
thank you.
Okay,
Good night. Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Marley. Yeah.
Good night. Thank you so much. Thank you for the offer. And I will definitely follow up.
Okay, all right.
All right, thanks, bye.